How are you guys doing? It is Sunday, September 20th, 2020. I here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through Giannis Antetokounmpo's MVP season, his age 25 season in the 2019-2020 season, as he was most recently named the MVP of the 2019-2020 season over names such as LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, and such. He was named an MVP for the second year in a row, and he was also named the Defensive Player of the Year, one of three players to ever win that award. So I'm just going to take you through this historic season and I'm just going to say straight up, I do think that there were other players, though I think that LeBron was more deserving of the award, but I don't think that Giannis Antetokounmpo doesn't deserve the award. He most definitely deserves the award. And for a player who hasn't even turned 26 yet, I think he has a very solid NBA resume. And the only thing he's really missing is a championship right now. That's the only thing that's separating him from an all-time great, the NBA GOAT level of just like being an elite basketball player. So without further ado, I'm going to get into this a little bit. So Giannis Antetokounmpo this year would lead the Milwaukee Bucks to the best team, or to the best record in the NBA. They would finish with a 56-17 record, which was 2.5 games better than second place Toronto, and then 3 games better than the Los Angeles Lakers to finish off the season. Throughout the season, the Bucks were most definitely streaking and they were kicking behind, and they were taking names. Giannis Antetokounmpo leading the way. He would eventually go on to lead the Eastern Conference in votes for the All-Star game. He would be named to his 4th consecutive All-Star game. Additionally, he was named to the All-Defensive First Team, as he was named the Defensive Player of the Year for the very first time in his career, over names such as Rudy Gobert, who had already won the award 2 years prior. He won it over names like Anthony Davis, who's currently in the playoffs right now and being referred to as one of the best especially one of the best two-way players. And I think they play the same position as well. So that should show you how dominant and how amazing Giannis's presence was. And even on the defensive side of the ball, he was able to get players, he was able to have teammates on the defensive team alongside him, as the Bucks were one of the most physically imposing defenses, as Eric Bledsoe and Brook Lopez, I believe, were named to the second team on defense. So I mean, that's just the impact of Giannis, and it's just just to add on to the fact that he's 6'10" with probably a wingspan longer than 7 feet. I mean, that just adds on to the amazingness that he brings every single day, the intensity. And after being named the MVP last year, I'll go through his stats last year. He would go on to play 72 games where he would average 32.8 minutes a game. He would average 27.7 points, 12.5 rebounds, 5.9 assists, over a steal, and a block and a half per game, as he shot 57% from the field, 25% from three, and then he would go on to shoot 73% from the line. That is an amazing MVP season, 27, 12, and 6, with over a steal and over a block, shooting incredibly well from the field. And then Giannis Antetokounmpo would find a way to get even better this year. He would play 2 less minutes a game. His minutes per game would shrink from 32.8 minutes a game to 30.4. That's over 2 minutes less a game. His points would go from 27.7 to 29.5, almost 2 more points a game. His rebounds would go from 12.5 to 13.6, so he's averaging over a rebound more a game. His assists would go down from 5.9 to 5.6. His steals will go down from 1.3 to 1, and his blocks will go down from 1.5 blocks to 1. But still going down the line, that's 29.5 points, 13.6 rebounds, 5.6 assists, and he's averaging a steal and a block per game this season in 30.4 minutes. So he's averaging less minutes than the year before. He would shoot 55% from the field, 30% from 3 for the 3rd time in his career. He would go on to shoot 63% from the line, and of course he would lead the Bucks to the best record in all of basketball. So following that, I don't know how you couldn't give a player who had a better year than his rookie season, like how you wouldn't give him the MVP. So I understand where a lot of that voting comes from, and I think he's a very valuable player. And the majority of the voters of the NBA Writers Association felt as though he was the best player, or he was the most valuable player this season. I personally didn't, but he's one, if he's not 1, he's 2. And no, Giannis had an amazing season this year. So that's everything. So with this MVP one, here's what his resume looks like. Still, in his 6 seasons in the league, he has 4 NBA All-Stars. He was named an All-Star the last 4 years of his career. He's been named to the All-NBA first team twice, which in 2019 and 2020. He's been named to the All-NBA second team twice, which were in 2017 and 2018. This will be his 5th playoff season in his 6-season career. This will be the 4th time he's averaged 22.5 points or 22 points per game. This is the 3rd time he's averaged 26 points per game. It's the first time he's averaged 29. He's made 2 defensive first teams. He's made 1 defensive second team. He shot 50% from the field 5 times. He shot 55% from the field twice, which is the last 2 seasons. This, like I said, it's the 3rd time he shot 30% from 3. This year is the 4th time he's averaged over 8 rebounds a game. The 3rd time he's averaged double-digit rebounds a game. The 1st time he's averaged 13. This is the 3rd time he's averaged 5 assists per game. This will be the 5th time he's averaged over a steal per game and the 6th time he's averaged over a block per game. And sitting on this season, so far, he's averaged 27 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block twice in his career in the NBA. And there are NBA all-time greats that dreamt of putting up those numbers, and Giannis has done it twice, and he's only 25 right now at this very moment, which should show how valuable and amazing of a player on the offensive and defensive side of the ball that he is. And a lot of people will draw parallels to him now versus LeBron exactly 10 years ago. But at the same time, this is a little bit different. Whereas Giannis is playing on the it's a different situation, but I do think Giannis is definitely going to become the most if he's not the most dominant player in the NBA, I think LeBron is right now. He is most definitely on pace. He's on track to snatch it at sometime very soon. I think he most definitely is worthy and deserving of this award. And congratulations to Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek Freak, for winning his second MVP, his second regular season MVP, his first ever Defensive Player of the Year. And after Michael Jordan did it in the 80s and Hakeem did it in the 90s, he's the 3rd player ever to finish the year with the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. But with that said, I really appreciate you guys for listening to all 8 minutes of this piece. Once again, it is September 20th, 2020 in this quarantine. I'm James Sims. And I just want you to just take a look. But my whole thing about this is just take a look at such an amazing career that Giannis Antetokounmpo's had, and kind of realizing that he has some of his best. He still has his best years ahead of him, and he's still dominating the NBA so easily. And it's just amazing to see how he's grown from just a lottery pick player who only started 23 of his 77 games his rookie season to becoming the best player in the NBA, or arguably. But with that said, I want to thank you once again. Thank you once again for hearing my piece. Check out my boy, The Greek Freak, and peace out.